Oh, there's a goal! Oh, at least I thought he was gonna until he blew it.
I know you're in the mood for more of that sports ball goodness. How about some of that streamlined Rocky Mountain green? The good shit, like the Broncos in 2015. That's Good Sports has you covered. Blatant cynicism, decent production values, in-depth insight for the NFL, and the looks of Zach Galifianakis, but less fat. Daily NFL videos, I know, consistency, not like his fantasy football team. That's Good Sports, a white Ford Bronco slowly rolling down the freeway but not being chased by cops. Check him out, link to his channel is in the description. Good news, Baltimore, you're looking like world beaters after stomping Buffalo at home last week. You're even playing the Bungles again. They torment you with more than Tyler Boyd this time. The defense has all the durability of a paper towel as they are immediately torched by AJ Green as a slot receiver. You do get a glorious return though. The elite play of Joe Flacco, throwing picks and derping in ways that would make Eli proud. Cincinnati quashes Raven hopes for the second time in 9 months. A world where the Bungles are first in the AFC North. I don't think I want to exist in such a timeline. Bills fans, prepare yourself for the future as it comes today. The era of Josh Allen is burgeoning onto the scene. Congrats, Mr. Allen, you get to be thrust into a shit show of a squad that has no identity, drive, or tenacity to do a damn thing besides lie down and die. The Diamond Dogs invade your home base and proceed to grief you for the entirety of the game. You may notice that the optimism meter is gone. That is because it crashed after last week's debacle. Things have gotten so bad in Buffalo that Vontae Davis chose to bench himself and retire at halftime. He literally just said fuck it and left the building instead of play another down for these fucks. The walking mediocrity is a megabus and Bagul is driving it straight off Niagara Falls. Get the tables. This is the traditional week where Redskins fans are bitch-slapped back to reality after they roll to an easy victory. Sadly, you cannot play the Cardinals 16 times a year. The Redskins were just flat-out dominated by Andrew Luck and his Colts. Adrian Peterson looked old yet again. Alex Smith a checkdown magnet for the majority of the game. Complete and utter failure on offense with a bevy of punts, poor play calling, and terribad 2-minute drills. The tire fire rages on. Remember, this is what you wanted, Bruce Allen. Reap what you sow. The victorious Sam Darnold marches home to MetLife Stadium to enjoy the throngs of fans cheering his rise to power. The Dolphins have other plans. Darnold looked more like a rookie with work to do as Tannehill minimized his mistakes in the first half and gave them enough of a cushion. The majority of the game was ugly as hell, just like North New Jersey in general, and the Dolphins spent the last part of the game killing off both the clock and the livers of Jets fans. Darnold's got promise, but these are the growing pains that he needs. The fucking creamsicles think they're hot shit under Fitzception, like that's gonna happen again.
Deshaun Jackson on the first play from scrimmage. The former Eagle is inside the 10 and takes it all the way.
Hell has officially frozen over. Wasn't this Eagles D supposed to be good? How the hell did Ryan Fitzpatrick torch you like he was playing in his backyard? He barely had to goddamn try. He could just flick the ball and there would be no one near a receiver for 5 yards. Your secondary chose to be glorified parking cones and Fitzmagic capitalized with another elite performance. The Eagles may have lost, but the true loser? Famous Jameis, now about to play second fiddle to Conor McGregor. If only Floyd Mayweather were here. A classic rivalry game between two hated foes in the NFC South, now with the Falcons dealing with injuries to several key players. Despite this, the Panthers failed to realize that Matt Ryan can throw the football and Tevin Coleman isn't a scrub. The Falcons overcame their stereotype to tame the Panthers. They even blatantly headhunted Cam Newton to ensure that they would be lorded over. A crucial game for both teams, yet the reeling Falcons stay sober enough to not fuck up near the goal line. Maybe the Panthers do need Greg Olsen. While battling injuries to the majority of their offense, the Titans are dealt another blow as Marcus Mariota will remain out of this game due to injury as well. They are now punished by being forced to witness a game led by Blaine fucking Gabbert, which should be a crime against humanity. This horrible fate was somehow transposed from Tennessee to Houston as the Texans played sloppy football in the first half. However, this is a Blaine Gabbert-run team. They will score no more than 20 points on offense. The Texans are slowly chipping away at the deficit with Deshaun Watson leading the way.
Watson with all day. Now flushed out. Thought about a deep shot in the end zone, nowhere to go.
Game clock management 101. Throw the goddamn ball before the clock reaches fucking 0. How do you lose to Blaine Gabbert? This week, on Days of Our Steelers, the diva struts his peacock feathers against the evil media. This time, an ESPN reporter penned a profile of Antonio Brown that didn't fillet him and his glory at every turn. Brown responds to this unbiased reporting the way most thick-skinned people do. by threatening physical violence against them on Twitter. Little does he know that whatever goes on the internet stays there and is forced to apologize for being caught in the act. Mike Tomlin, the great leader that he is, shits his pants and does nothing about it. Meanwhile, another week passes as Le'Veon Bell remains MIA from the team. Bell is coping with his absence by partying it up on South Beach. Truly a man with his priorities in order. As the Steelers play Kansas City at home, they chose to pay tribute to Le'Veon by not showing up until the second quarter. Despite allowing the Chiefs to go full read in one quarter, it's not enough. The team defense is absolutely atrocious as Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs treat them like wet cardboard. Too bad they're too busy being cocky as none of them can make a tackle. The diva, as always, makes himself the center of attention by bitching on the sidelines because he isn't getting the ball as the Steelers are humiliated once again. The remainder of the league laughs as they await another episode of Days of Our Steelers. Life without Josh Gordon begins for the Browns as they travel to the land of the Superdome. Yes, you heard that correctly, Josh Gordon is gone. His wasted talent is exacerbated as he was shed from the Factory of Sadness by tweaking his hamstring at a non-team event. It's going to be hard to one-up this on the Cleveland scale, especially as the Browns are effectively stuffing a potent Saints offense. They even scored a touchdown and missed the extra point. Doesn't matter though as they march down the field and whiff on the field goal. The Saints use this as a dog whistle to get their shit together and take the lead again. Only a miracle can save them now.
Taylor for the end zone. Catch made.
Holy shit, guys, it's happening. The Browns are going to win. They've got this in the fucking bag. They missed the extra point. Are you fucking shitting me? The Saints proceed to march down the field and take the lead once again, but this is a new Cleveland team. They aren't going to die quietly. Zane Gonzalez is going to get another chance. Oh my god. We are experiencing levels of browning that shouldn't be physically possible. The radiation of failure will kill us all in a few hours. It was a pleasure knowing you all. Before I fall victim to the horrible Browns fallout, let's move up north to Lambeau and say the two greatest words in Green Bay's dictionary. Anthony Barr. His impact is minimized as Aaron Rodgers laughs in his face and slowly picks apart the Viking D throughout the game. Despite this conquering, Kirk Cousins is no spring chicken. He slings the ball like a discus in the Roman Olympics and creates beautiful magic with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. His 400 yards passing brings the Vikings back from the brink and forces the issue in OT. The fighting is fierce as the Vikings are marching to victory again. Daniel Carlson, here is your chance. You may have fucked up on the last two field goals, but this is a 35-yard chip shot for a team that has known nothing but kicking failure. Buck the trend. It appears that my laughing fit has cured me of the horrible browsing of my soul. As for the Cardinals, no such luck. Remember that scene in Gladiator where the random assortment of slaves are thrown into the arena and are butchered by the veteran warriors? That was this game. The Cardinals were outright slaughtered. How can you decipher an offense when it is so offensively bad that it can't even gain 150 yards in a game? Their punter should be getting hazard pay for this shit. They can take it from the remainder of the team as none of them earned anywhere near a paycheck. Arizona, prepare yourselves for the descent. The other NFC West team from California has their own issues to deal with, and it's not just trying to drag Niners fans down to Santa Clara in sweltering heat. They managed to deal with most of them as Jimmy Garoppolo returned to being their savior and guided the Niners to victory against the Motor City mediocrity. Sure, it was a close game on paper, but the Lions did most of it in garbage time as Matt Stafford transformed into the GOAT of fantasy football yet again. By the way, how's the LeGarrette Blount experiment working out for you guys? About as well as Detroit under pressure, huh? New England is headed down to the humid wasteland of Florida, where the temperatures are hotter than the expectations for Saxonville. The Jags got their fill of bloodlust and revenge as the Patriots overconfidently taunted Blake Bortles to beat them with his arm. He did. It's almost as if New England's defense is still terrible and can't keep up with speed. This game was a lot like the evil empire invading the land of Ewoks. Except the Ewoks are 8 feet tall, run like cheetahs, and have man-eating dragons. Okay, so nothing like it at all. Raider Nation and John Gruden are still in search of that ever-elusive first win in his return. The Mile High should be a good spot for such a watermark. So fitting that Martavis Bryant is back in the fold again. The Raiders slowly go back to that old-school football, holding the Broncos in check for the first half. But the power of Elway is held back by no one. Denver picks them apart bit by bit, thanks to some questionable play calling by Oakland, and stripped victory from the jaws of Chucky. They will be haunted by the echoes of McManus and Marquette King for weeks to come. Two teams that looked like total shit last week, so this means one of these steaming piles of uninspired dreck will win. In an awful game of football, Jerry World was just too much for the derp to overcome. Look at this face. This is a face that has seen some shit. This is the face of a man who is in an existential crisis. This face exemplifies the horror of having to be protected by Eric Flowers. This face represents the Giants organization, a state of horror and post-concussed confusion that has no vision and doesn't know how to move forward from the derp. Jerry Jones pleasures himself to this victory on the road to 8-8. A worthy stroke indeed. So the Bears are reeling after an embarrassing Week 1 loss to God King Aaron Rodgers and his one leg of doom. Behind the curtain, the antidote to such failure is retrieved in the form of facing the decaying remnants of the Legion of Boom. Chicago's front seven feasted on an avian diet of Russell Wilson and a running back chorus of guys stuck in mud. I cannot put into words how terrible the Seahawks are. The Bears' offense was sluggish and couldn't get much going, but Seattle was more than eager to refuse a plate full of victory. At this rate, Russell Wilson's remains will have to be pried from the field by means of spatula and reformed by kiln. Honestly, I see a lot of the 06 Bears in this Chicago team. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is up to your judgment. Gentlemen, may I have your attention? We have received word on the future whereabouts of the enigmatic and brutally frustrating Josh Gordon. Drum roll, please. Josh Gordon will now be a member of the New England Patriots! The most predictable outcome has occurred. Cleveland has become the farm team for New England once again. As is the rule of football, a player cannot better himself until he is removed from the factory of sadness. Now watch as he manages to stay on the field thanks to organizational structure. And now, a moment of silence for all those we've lost over the past week.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
The football gods show no mercy. Amen.
That first half, that's the most times he's ever been sacked in one half of football in a game. Big return and looking for more. DJ Reed Jr. with a man to beat. Still on his feet. And still on his feet. Flag comes down. This is going to come.